All of this is a deception, and people have been deceived from the beginning of time to worship the Lord in evil and wicked ways and lose the story of the truth that you are hearing now by the will of the Lord in the English language. And they have deceived you into crosses and symbols and icons and pagan practices and triangles and many other things. And a believer in Allah, the Lord Most High, a Muslim, one who submits, following Islam, the faith of submitting to the true story, the whole story, and the understanding of the reality of the story is called a Muslim, and that is Islam. But we said that all of the fundamentals of the story must continue to be exact. And we remember the final fundamental, that all of this is by the plan and the will of Allah, that He created everything in the universe. As we say amongst Muslims, not a leaf falls or a speck of sand under the oceans. Well, I am saying to you something more amazing than that, that everything in the universe is by the will of Allah. All of it. And that the final prophet was given the word, as all people who tell the truth use the word. And at one point in his messengership, he told everybody the beginning, the middle, and the end. As all storytellers tell you, you have to give your people the beginning, the middle, the end, and tell them everything. Now, if the story I'm telling you is freaking you out, then you must know that I should be able to explain all the mysteries of the soul. But I must be able to do so in a way that is obvious to you and understandable in the tale that we have just told. Well, let's just talk about the soul real quickly so that we go through it. Is that the soul, people say, there seems to be some strange connection. Well, some people can lucid dream, some people can astral project, and there's been all these mystics throughout the ages, and there's been such fallacies and ignorances as reincarnation. We said the reason why we do not believe in reincarnation is because it goes against the fundamentals. All the sons of Adam live and die, and only our souls last forever. So what is this thing that people have memories of past lives and reincarnation? Well, we said always in the understanding is that there is misdirection and misinformation from the other side and even from within our own people. And so oftentimes, for example, in reincarnation stories, it is the other side or the devils that try to make you think you are an animal. Now, if you've listened to the story, then you should know. You are supposed to remember that you are a son of Adam, a man. And in that, they have continuously tried to deceive you. Many Native American cultures and all kinds of Eastern cultures have been deceived into thinking about reincarnation, that people have been animals. Such ludicrous idiocracy is just fundamentally flawed. And no person who ever bore the truth of the light says he used to be a monkey. Remember who told us and challenged us and made us think we are of animals? Satan has always tried to deceive us into thinking that we have come from animals or made from animals. We are the greatest race. The Lord Most High has made us and breathed into us the life of the soul. So do not be deceived. Now, why is it that reincarnation is experienced, that people think they have past lives? Well, I can't tell you that mystery right now. It will be made clear in a few moments, but there are other things that we know. For example, lucid dreaming, astral projection. We've continued to tell this story and explain that we are the sons of Adam, flesh and blood of the body, and that there are other races and jinns, and they are of smokeless fire. They are in different dimensions, and if you don't understand what we've been talking about understanding different dimensions in the universe, then please go back and listen to the story. But here, just quickly, we have said that there are people who communicate with other dimensions, and we shouldn't think that they are godly or that any of the information that they get is great or superior. Unless you understand the true story of the truth of the Lord, nothing that comes from the other side is greater than the word. And all people who bear the truth will remind you of that. But we said in this story that mankind has always gotten confused, and that if we want to understand things like lucid dreaming and astral projection, we know from Islam that because we are of the soul, that the body, the physical body, sleeps. The physical body sleeps, and the soul actually ascends and leaves the body. Now, Muslims have known this truth of reality from the beginning of 1500 years, and so have all the prophets of the light, and probably no one has told you the truth of your soul. Now, during that time, your soul can travel in other dimensions and go to anywhere it wants, and many other things. We don't want to get into the details, but understand the nature of the soul. The soul is not of the third dimension, as we call it. It is not of the body. The soul is greater than that. So what are the mysteries of the soul? Well, we've been talking about strange concepts, and we see that when the soul goes to the other dimension, it can travel anywhere within the earth. It can travel anywhere within the skies. It can travel, like the unseen world, back and forth through time. And strange imagery and pictures come, and sometimes those who have the truth of the light and understand can tell you what all of this means. And sometimes the dreams that we get are a misdirection. Just like in everything, there is light and there is misdirection, there is darkness. We have said in everything there is some truth, and everything there is some darkness. Being able to understand how to differentiate the two is only by understanding the story of truth from beginning till end. So don't be deceived. Of course you can lucid dream. Of course you can astrally project. Of course you can do all kinds of other things if you begin to understand the true nature of the light. And of course you can go through the Muslim scholars and see those who call themselves ascetics and focused on the light, that they were able to travel in time and move through space and do things that were unbelievable. And even from the Jewish rabbis, there are great people who use the word. And also from the Christians, there are great people who use the word. But differentiating between a scholar who uses darkness and a scholar who uses light is a hard task. And never be deceived from the light. And as I warn you, of all scholars, there are people who follow darkness, and all scholars, there are people who follow light. And of the Muslims, there are people who use the darkness incorrectly, when the power of truth is always greatest in the word. So we said to remember to connect all things in the story, that this war is about light versus darkness. And we said that Adam, on that very first day, was breathed of the light and raised, and that the Lord taught Adam the words and the ability to speak and say things. And since you are being given the story in the English language, I must be able to show you these proofs. And we are claiming that this story has never been heard before, and that this moment will be marked in history. But we said to understand your own soul, that you must understand the story. And we said that when I tell you the story, I know now that I remember, as the truth of a believer is a reminder to another believer, that I already knew the story. And then I said something that was even stranger. I said that you already heard this story. Well, now that I reveal to you that each and every prophet has taught their people this story that I'm now telling you for the first time, let me tell you of something else that is more amazing. As I have always claimed, every answer must be grander and so obvious and have been clear by the story that I told. You want to understand how it is that you, after all this time, could listen to this tale that I'm telling and think that there is some light. And if you're starting to see the light, I tell you peace and blessings and openness for the light. Listen to the guidance, for it is of the truth, not from me, but by the will of the Lord. That the story that I'm telling you is only the truth. We must go back. If we really want to understand the truth of your soul, we've talked about some of the mysteries, but if you really want to know why it is that you can simply say, "Oh Lord, I seek and you shall find," why it is that if you are told the story, you will know, why it is that as I'm telling you the story, you feel the truth of the light and you remember. And I tell you, you've heard the story before. I say that we cannot see all the unseen world, and we don't know all the secrets of the universe. but we know that this story I am saying is true. To understand your own soul at this moment, you must begin to recognize what? Go back in the chain and seek your family. And that is supposed to remind you of this story, even though many of your forefathers didn't understand the whole truth from the beginning till the end, as I am revealing it to you now.